Okay, so our next topic in our unit Planet Earth is topic 7, which is mountains. Okay, so what is a mountain? It's a part of Earth's surface that is much higher than the land around it. And a mountain range would be a series of mountains. So for example, the Rocky Mountains, they extend from the north in the Yukon Territory through the United States and into southern Mexico. It is one of the longest mountain ranges in the world. Mountain formation and distribution. So most mountains are large areas that have been uplifted due to the movement or the heating of plates. So these plates, they're either converging, which means they're coming together, they're diverging, which means they're moving apart, or they're sliding past each other. And that pressure can cause the rocks to start to fold and fault, creating these mountains. Sometimes the heat can melt the rock and cause it to rise to form volcanoes. So what is folding? Sedimentary rocks that are placed under slow, gradual pressure can either fold or break. So rocks can fold if they are hot enough to act almost like bendable plastic. That soft rock may bend into curves. Some of that sedimentary rock can be changed to metamorphic rock during this process of folding. Just a couple terms here when we're looking at mountains. The anticline is the upward or top part of the folded rock, and the syncline is the bottom of the fold. All right, what is a fault? So sometimes the rocks in Earth's crust, they are too brittle to fold. So when pressure is exerted on those types of rocks, they will break, forming a fault. A fault can be the result of squeezing or stretching of Earth's crust. Thrust faulting, this is when sedimentary rock is squeezed from the sides. It can form into slabs that move up and over each other, kind of like shingles on a roof. A fault block mountain, these are mountains that are formed by the process of thrust faulting. So when tectonic forces stretch Earth's crust, fault blocks can tilt or slide down. Older rock may end up on top of the younger rock. So these huge amounts of rock can form these mountains called fault block mountains. Okay, so here, looking at a diagram here, how the Rocky Mountains were formed. Mountains can be formed again by the convergence of continental plates and oceanic plates. The continental plate rides over the oceanic plate. Melted rock wells up under the edge of the overriding plate, which will pushing up the mountains. Melted rock can break through the surface and erupt as volcanoes. So usually more than one of these processes is occurring. And if there's a combination of different processes, it will create complex mountains. So here the oceanic plate, which is thinner and heavier, which will slide under the continental plate. The continental plate, which is thicker and lighter, will ride over the oceanic plate. And we can see the stresses, the buckling under the stress. Okay, so mountains form in places where plates collide. So India is currently pressing into southern Asia, and there's evidence of this as there are many earthquakes in this region, in places like Turkey, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and other countries that border northern India. Himalayas are still growing. Evidence of this movement is also seen from these ever-growing Himalayas. They're still rising at a rate of about 1 centimeter each year. Mount Everest is in the Himalayas. It's about 50 centimeters higher than it was 40 years ago, and it's still growing. And that's because of that pushing into that continent. All right, next, ages of mountains. So mountains that are jagged at the top are young. Mountains that are more rounded are older. So the Rockies are one of many younger mountain ranges in the world. Himalayas in India being the youngest and highest. And like I said, the top of Mount Everest in the Himalayas, it's still growing taller. Most of the western coastline of North and South America are areas where rock surfaces are pushing against each other. So we can see some different areas here. This is from the textbook. So Alps, Urals, Andes, Himalayas, and so on. Here's the Rockies. Okay, so I'm going to pause here. I have some videos to show on mountains. Here is Mount Rundle. This is near Banff, Alberta, which we can see it's been uplifted and tilted. This is Castle Mountain between Banff and Jasper. We can also see horizontal layers of sedimentary rock here as well.